I really hated about living on the grid? It was when it was time to call the septic guy. Yeah, the yearly call to the septic guy and pay him to come onto my property and pump my septic. Oh, I loved getting that bill. I loved having him come onto the property. Yeah, it was a really freeing feeling. And then, the county that we lived in, if we didn't do it in time, we would get a pink slip in the mail saying, you have 30 days to comply because that is a county ordinance. You have to pump your septic or we're going to fine you lots of money. Comply, comply, comply. There's no freedom in that. I didn't like the septic guy coming onto our property, period. I didn't like paying him to remove our human waste. And I didn't like the county telling me that if I didn't do it in a timely manner, they had the right to fine me. Does that make sense, friends? Didn't make sense to us. So when we decided to look for property, we looked for property in a county that allowed us to, number one, not have a septic. We could do human composting. We could do an outhouse. We didn't have to comply to the ordinances of the county that said you must have a septic. And you know, it really didn't make any sense because the off-grid philosophy really is breaking free from that dependence. And water is valuable. Americans, we have to get off the flushing toilet mentality, the taking long showers and wasting all of that water and putting it in a septic to be pumped. Doesn't make any sense. And if you want to remain debt-free or get out of debt, you've got another bill every year. And then if you don't comply, you got an extra bill. So, being off the grid means no septics. And thinking outside the box with how you take care of your human waste. Now, you can do human manure composting, or you can really just go back to the basics. And this is awesome because you know what? Outhouses off the grid are still in style. We have advanced, and outhouses have advanced. It's not like our great-grandmother, and I remember our outhouse from my great-grandmother. Yeah, it's kind of cobwebby and dark and didn't really like going out to outhouse. But nowadays, people are really being creative with their outhouses and seeing that it is a valuable asset to their homestead. They're saving water. They are they're really taking the bull by the horns, waking up to what real off-grid living and self-sustainability is about. They're wrapping their heads around changing their mode of thinking and looking at all the precious commodities that they need to preserve for their self-sustainability. And water, obviously, like I said, is one of them. So outhouses are really like coming back full force. I've been in so many different outhouses, especially here in our community, off-grid community. If people don't do human manure composting, which we are strong advocates of, we love our human manure composting method. It's all about that whole cycle of self-sustainability. We use our compost, our human manure compost in our garden. It gives back to us. We've had a spring, so we know how valuable water is. We're not going to waste it flushing down our own human waste. We're not going to go there. So people are getting it now. And if you don't do the human manure composting, then the outhouse is like rocking it now. And I want to show you, look, that's a Starry rocking outhouse. We have so many rocks around this area. There you go. You got to use what you have. So local rock was picked to make the little wall and the little walkway, and this actually came from it was laying around a piece of scrap metal. And yes, the wood was purchased, but this was not a costly purchase. But look, see, look at all the little stuff that makes this. Look, these are all Starry ideas. You know, people always ask me, what do you do with your pine cones? You just be creative. Look at that. Isn't that cute? See? Not like our great-grandmother's outhouse. And look, oh, there's the toilet. And here's the bucket where we keep the sawdust. Pretty awesome, isn't it? And something like this, you don't need to be a skilled carpenter to put together. I have seen all different types of outhouses, some a little bit fancier than others, but you can be so creative. That window came from the recycling center too. But look at that. See, a creative outhouse. You just got to rethink. And so friends, just know that there is a way to break free from that dependence on the septic, the toilet flushing, the pumping of the septic tank, and the possibility of being fined. Don't comply. How can I say that? Don't comply to what the standards out there are. You go off the grid, you're going to free yourself from so many things. And you got two options now. You got an outhouse, pretty funky, or you can do the human manure composting, which rocks too. But either way, you're going to save yourself money and you're going to save yourself some water.